traps a lot of people. Emotion is a big way that people spend money. Emotion. You know, I like going in and talking to Kyle. He'll cut me a good deal. I like going in. I'm going to see what he's got. I can guarantee you there's people that go into the pawn shop just because of Kyle. And if
There
Kyle
is, I can tell you that for absolute certainty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know Kyle that well, and I can just guarantee you there's people that come in and they buy from that pawn shop because you're in that building. And they like to go in and maybe visit with you. Do you ever have people that just come in and talk?
All the time.
Clearly, you've never been in our pawn shop.
90% of your day, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, there's a big emotional connection to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, functionally, probably most of the stuff I could go buy from somebody else that you're selling.
Anywhere.
Yeah. But what brings me back into your pawn shop, Kyle, is I bet when people walk in, especially if you know them, you know, let's just say Neil walks in, hey Neil, what's going on? You know him by name. That's an emotional connection. On shoes, you know, going back to that for a second, how they look.
Yeah.
What am I
That
going to
funny
look like?
feeling,
in
yeah,
these,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Have you ever done this where you got a pair of when you're in the store and you're looking at shoes and you're like, oh. Or guys, you know, if you work for work, you're looking at the stitching and like, look how well these are made. I mean, they're way more money, but man, these are going to last a long time. And I work hard. I know they're a lot, but you know, this is New Balance, or this is Nike, or you connect sometimes to a brand. That's an emotional connection. You know, cars. People buy cars on emotional connections all the time. I mean, cars functionally, they need to get me from point A to point B. They got to have 4 tires and an engine. That's the function. But what kind of emotional stuff do people think about with a car?
Appearance.
Oh, look, this is leather though on this one.
Touchscreen.
This is the touch screen. I mean, this is
Keyless.
cool. Look at it. I mean, when I'm driving, look, I can touch it.
History.
The channel and what's that?
History.
What's the history? Who's had this? Only
Oh,
one
my
owner.
parents had it and whatever. It
Oh.
just comes down to.
Yeah. Mom and Dad always bought this brand. This is, you know, we're a Ford family. I don't even look at Chevys.
Emotion.
A total emotion. I mean, come on. At the end of the day, it's a truck. It's got 4 wheels. It takes gas. It gets you point A to point B. But people don't buy like that. They put a ton of emotion on stuff. Tons. Clothing. Haircuts. A lot of emotion on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So think about your business. You think people buy from you based on emotion.
Absolutely.
My
They
example,
come to the cheese factory
'Cause
when
they
they were
really
little.
need
Their family, since they were little, is tradition.
I remember stopping here on our trips to
Yes.
Salt Lake City. We would
Yes.
always stop and get. That has nothing to do with function. They could go to any store and buy cheese.
Yeah.
I could even go to the gas station and get the same cheese, but we've got to go to the factory, right? We've got to go, because that's, you know, that's where it's packaged and made and put together. I mean, that's all emotional stuff. There are a lot of businesses, though, that don't focus on this. They leave the emotion out. Last night, when I stopped at that gas station and bought the Diet Cokes and the M&Ms that I bought, functionally, I bought something I could have bought from probably anywhere else in town. I don't know, maybe even the hotel I stayed at last night had a vending machine. You know, functionally, if I just want a Diet Coke and M&Ms, I go through a couple quarters in the machine and it'll spit out and I'm good to go. The problem is if you don't put emotion in things, if you're just functional, because functional can be obtained from so many other places, if you don't put this in, what happens is you don't get a guest that's engaged. You don't get a visitor to our area that's engaged. You don't get a customer that's engaged. If people aren't engaged, well, it's like real life. If you're engaged to someone or if you're married to someone, if you don't provide both function and emotion in your relationships, where does your significant other go if they're no longer engaged
Somewhere
to you?
else.
They go find it someplace else. They move on, you know, they go elsewhere. You said you're getting married, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, you know this, you gotta provide some function. You're gonna be expected to bring home some money. You're gonna be maybe expected to take out the garbage and I don't know, shovel in the winter, mow lawn in the summer. I mean, you're gonna have to provide some function and you're gonna expect that of your spouse. But does there have to be some emotion between the two of you, all right? If your soon-to-be wife comes home, will she be working out of the house?
She was still going to school.
Going to school, okay. So she comes home and she's like, oh man, honey, the instructor at this class, he's such a jerk, and we gotta do this, and we got a test coming up, and we gotta write this report. If Eric looks at his soon-to-be wife and says, well, suck it up, honey, because I gotta work over at the station. If you don't provide some emotion,
I'm on the market.
Yeah. I don't know how long that ring's gonna be on your finger, right? I mean, this is life, like you have to provide some emotion in these situations. It's no different with our customers that walk in the door. If you don't do this, if you don't put the ring on their finger, I'm talking about our customer, they walk out the door and they'll go buy that product from somewhere else. The station last night, functionally I got what I paid for. There wasn't a ton of emotion. Would there be any reason that I feel obligated to go back and buy my next Diet Coke on my way out of town tonight from that station? Not really. I mean, not really. It was a Diet Coke. You know, I can go get that. Maybe I'll just wait and get it in Cedar tonight when I get there. You know, but you want me to come back to your place, and that's where the emotion comes in. I'll give you one other quick example of this emotion. I like the name. I think using customers' names, huge emotional connection. And it's so easy now because people pay so often with credit cards, right? Or in the hospital, you know my name. I was at a fast food restaurant a while back, and I went to use my credit card, and the cashier, she told me what the total was, and so I handed my card to her, and she took the card, and she went to slide it on the, on the little credit card reader, and then she hands me the card back, and she gives me my receipt. And when my food was ready, what do you think she called out?
Your name.
Your number.
Number 89.
Oh,
But as she did that, I thought, gosh, you had my credit card in your hand.
and you can.
Hopefully my credit card has
Your name.
my name on it. I mean, we got another problem if it's got somebody else's name on it, right? So you got my credit card. How easy would it be to look at that credit card and jot my name down? Or, in your business, look at that credit card and say, Jordan, thanks so much for coming in today. Appreciate it. And to use someone's name, that's a huge emotional connection.
Yeah, that is.
And most places don't do that.
You gotta do it in the right tone.
You do.
People say your name, that's creepy.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you have to work on it, right? You do have to work on it. But do you think people connect with their name?
Well, they say that the best sound you'll ever hear is your own name.
Absolutely. People will always respond to it. And you have to decide in your business if it's better to go with Mr. or Mrs. or
Right.
Catherine. I will tell you that I find most places now, especially as we get into the millennials and the younger generation, they're very comfortable with first names. If we got someone that's maybe more of a senior, we may opt to go with the Mr. or the Mrs. But I love using someone's name because it grabs their attention.
Right.
It shows that you took 2 seconds to care about them as a person and not just their credit card number and how much money we were making off them. All right, just we're gonna look at the bottom again, and we'll take a little break. You see where it says communication style? When you work at your business, whether it's the gas station, whether it's over at the hospital, you're at the pawn shop, people are looking at you, they're listening to you, and they remember certain things about you. After they walk away from your business, certain things will stick out in their mind. I'm going to just start with the telephone, okay? How many of you answer phone calls at your place of business?
All day long.
All day long? Okay. So you answer the phone. Have you ever called a business and you've started to judge that business just by the way the person spoke on the phone to you? And you can kind of tell, like, hey, this is kind of a nice person, or, oh, man, I don't know what her problem was. You ever hung up the phone saying that? You're like, phew, it's a lesson on customer service. Or a friend. You ever call a friend and you know that you've woken them up just by how they're talking
Yeah.
on the phone?
Yeah.
What do we call that word that you're judging? It's referred to as someone's, it starts with a T.
Now say that again.
Temperament.
Temperament. When you hear someone talk, the judgments that we're making about that person or about what's going on at
Tone
that
of their
business,
voice.
very good, the tone of their voice, ticket coming your way. They say 86% of how we communicate on a phone call and the judgments that we make about that person is going to come through the tone that they use on a phone call.
It's funny because part of my job is calling insurance companies to get pre-authorizations for this or that or what have you, And you can always tell. You can always tell what kind of day someone's having. And the other day, my supervisor was out at my desk for a little while, and I answered 4 or 5 phone calls, and she looked at me and she said, "You answer the phone with a smile on your face." "Yes, I do." they can't see you. Why are you smiling? Because if I'm not smiling, my voice might sound, I might give the wrong impression to them. They can't see me at all. And I think that's a huge thing.
Yes.
Huge.
I love that you said smile. How many would agree with that comment? You can hear someone smiling
You can.
on a phone call.
You can.
I'm going to challenge you after our class today. This is a little homework for you. If you have a phone at your office or your place of business, you go out to the dollar store. You know, next time, is there a dollar store here in town? Is there? Like Dollar Tree or one of those?
Family Dollar.
Oh, Family Dollar, they got them. So you go over to Family Dollar, pick yourself up some little mirrors. You know, like a little locker mirror. And you have a mirror by every phone at your place of business. Any phone that one of the employees or you would be answering, get yourself a little mirror. I know it sounds crazy, but you put a little mirror in front of your phone. When you go to pick up that phone, you make sure you're smiling. People can definitely tell the difference. I'm going to prove it after our break. We're going to do a little activity. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You can absolutely tell what day someone's having, and it automatically is directly related to how much money people will spend with you. If you sound like a nice person, when people call you, they're a lot more likely to do more business with you. It's just that simple. I have a younger sister. She's about 4 years younger than me, and then there's my mom and dad. And my dad, I told you he was in the cheese business, and so he worked a lot, you know, owning a good part of the company. He was always at work. And then my mom stayed at home and raised my sister and I. And I can remember my sister and I fighting. Not like physically, but like, you know, how brother and sister fight. We were only 4 years apart, so. My mom, all mom would have to do is say, you wait till your father gets home, right? Because dad was like the guy that you didn't want to mess with, because he worked all day. When he got home, he was tired, and man, if the kids screwed off, you were going to get talked to, okay? And so my mom would raise her voice and shake her finger, but dad was always the one that you were afraid of. So I can remember, I grew up when phones were still attached to the wall, right? And there was like that cord, you all remember the cords that were in caller ID? You talk now to like young people, they don't know, you know, but we didn't have caller ID. Like the phone rang, it was like, ooh, I wonder who that is. And you would just go answer it. So anyway, I can remember my mom doing this. You kids wait till your father gets home. I'm going to tell him how you behaved here today. And then the phone would start ringing. And, you just wait. I'm going to tell him. And, hello, Emerson. Oh, hi. Yes. Oh, everything's fantastic. Did anybody else have a mom or dad like this?
I am
Maybe
that
that's you. So I always tell my mom, I'm like, oh, you're so good, because I tell her all the time, I'm like, I use her as an example when I'm doing my